Hello everyone, let's start making notes from the newspaper as I promised from the previous video. This is yesterday's newspaper. Wednesday, June 18, 2025. Yesterday we just went through this article where I said we have to make note of Karnataka Shops and Commercial Establishment Act 1961. So just select this, copy, then go to Chrome, paste it here and type KPSE. Here the AI will suggest few points, so just make which is important in this. See, it is a regulating act, aims to protect the right of employees by outlining regulations for workers, wages, leaves and other employment terms. So if any act is there, we have to make note of the purpose, its aim and whom it serves and any department mentioned here. So let's write here acts as the topic. So whatever acts you find in the newspaper, you just mentioned in this piece of A4 sheet. Make two partition like this and write here Karnataka Shops and Commercial Establishment Act 1961. So underline this. Let's write aim of this. Aim is to protect rights of employees by outlining regulations for work hours, wages, leaves and other employment terms. It is enforced by Department of Labor. It ensures fair and safe working conditions for employees. This is state labor law. And that's it about this. So let's go to the newspaper. In this article, state initiates study to assess impact of AI on workforce. Yesterday I told regarding the government's flagship skilling initiative Nipuna Karnataka. So we will copy this, go to Chrome, paste space KPSE, search. Since this is a scheme, so you will take another A4 sheet, write heading schemes and fold it equally as I said before. Right here Nipuna Karnataka. It is skilling initiative aimed at building a globally competitive workforce, ensure that trainees are equipped with industry validated certificates and placement opportunities, fostering both local and government employability. You can go in Namma KPSC website, they have mentioned about this skilling scheme. They have given funding, industry collaboration, then objective, target audience, implementation. For us, objective is important, target audience is important, and even implementation is important. So just make note of this, underline this, write aim. Aim is aligning youth skills with industry demands in emerging technologies. And this is state government initiative for guaranteed employment through skilling. So write state government initiative guaranteed employment through skilling. Objective: provides industry relevant skills to youth in cyber security, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, equip you for global and local success, strong public private partnership for better training alignment with industry needs. Target audience is youth, women re-entering the workforce after maternity breaks. Implementation skilling to be delivered in cities and district centers. Mode of delivery, it can be online or offline, is yet to be finalized. They haven't finalized whether to be provided online or offline. Standardized procedure to be applied across Karnataka. So mention objective like provide industry relevant skills, cyber security, cloud computing and AI, equip youth for global and local success, and strong public private partnership, which is PPP, for better training alignment with industry needs. This target audience and implementation we can just go through. No, it is not necessary to make notes of it since it is understandable. It is related to Karnataka news. So next we'll go to the newspaper. G7. This is IR. So take another sheet, write IR. You can mention organizations also. G7 is group. Mention G7. Let's go to Google Chrome and mention G7 Summit 2025 KPSC. Enter. There is a Vision IAS article. See, about G7 summit is important. So we will write it is an international forum held annually members. Just you need to know whether India is a member or not. See, your G7 means 7 members will be there: France, USA, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, Italy and Canada, and European Union. Actually, Russia was also a member. Then it was called G8, but it came out of the summit. So India, it is not a member, so mention it here. Then mention all the 7 members: France, USA, UK, Germany, Japan, Italy, Canada and European Union. This time 2025 summit was held in Canada. We have to know this G7 critical minerals action plan, which was established during 2023 presidency by Japan. It was endorsed by India, so we need to know about it. Mention G7 5.5 point plan for critical minerals security. Japan's G7 presidency. India endorsed or not? India endorsed it. Let's mention only G7 KPSC. See, now in Namma KPSC there is an article. Just go through it. It was the article from 2024. 2024 it was held in Italy. Formation, international forum formed in 1973. Purpose was, it is created in response to economic challenges like oil crisis, rising inflation, and the collapse of Bretton Woods system. Initial members, see expansion. Russia was included in 1998, forming the G8, but was suspended in 2014. Evolution of G7, then relevance and criticism, achievements. For prelims point of view, this much information is enough. For mains, we have to know the evolution of G7 and relevance and criticism also, achievements, what was the 2024 G Summit agenda, and even this 2025 G Summit agenda is also should be known. I'm just giving here information like for the prelims point of view. In the coming video, definitely I will show how to make notes for mains point of view also, because this video becomes very lengthy if I show for prelims and even for mains. But definitely I will show how to take notes from editorials. This is environment article, so let's take a fresh paper. It's better I will keep all here. I'll keep this here, so no confusion. We'll write environment. It is about the lac insect, so mention lac insect. So this is one of the type of species, so mention species. So in the coming while reading newspaper in the coming days, when you find any species topic, just mention over in this sheet only. So again I am dividing it. This produces lactic acid. This lactic acid used to make lac pigment. This lac pigment is prized commodity. This is used food coloring, then textiles, next dyes, next handicrafts, next folk art. Here they have mentioned how this lac insect grows. See, it grows on certain trees like the flame of the forest, drinks its sugary sap and secretes a sticky resin called shellac. It also makes a bright red compound called lactic acid, which is used to make the pigment. How the insect produces lactic acid has remained a source of mystery. So it is not yet found, so it is not necessary to mention all those things. For decades, scientists have unsuccessfully hunted for genes coding for its synthesis in the insect's genome. However, now the researchers have found colorful pigment extracted from black insect may actually be produced by a symbiotic yeast-like organism living inside the insect. So it is a peculiar information like this pigment is extracted from the symbiotic yeast-like organism living inside the insect. So mention that here. Pigment extracted from symbiotic yeast-like organism living inside the insect. The term also showed that the yeast-like organism exclusively harbors genes coding for key ingredients in the pigment synthesis pathway. See here it is mentioned India a key producer. So this is important. Key producer India. For thousands of years, India has been a key producer. The pathway for the pigment production was not very clear. Okay. It is said one of the key ingredients required for lactic acid synthesis is an amino acid called tryosine, which the insect cannot make on its own or source from the tree sap. Such missing ingredients are usually supplied by symbiotic bacteria or fungi that live inside insect bodies and secrete these molecules in exchange for housing. So here you mention symbiotic is pigment extracted, so that is by amino acid tyrosine. Okay. This is not very important, so let's move on to the next topic. This is miscellaneous information. So take another paper, write miscellaneous, divide it into 2, right? BWSSB enters Guinness book. Why did it enter? Highest number of pledges in a week for water conservation project in the world. So enough, nothing much required in that. District panel to oversee scientific disposal of plastic water bottles. So here it is an article for ill effects of plastic waste. So even this comes under environment, where I have mentioned in that paper species. So only mention the species articles in this paper. Here this comes under pollution, plastic pollution, right? Plastic waste, everything comes under the pollution. So mention here ill effects of plastic waste or only plastic waste. See, there is 2 points. Plastic waste management, concrete around trees in a separate order, location in section, remove concrete, Here there is one quote which we can use it in mains. If we destroy nature out of grid, it is like destroying ourselves. Nice quote. So mention that. If we destroy nature out of grid, it is like destroying ourselves. In Karnataka, we must protect the Western Ghats, diverse forests, rivers, and biodiversity. Mention this one point. Currently, diesel vehicles used for wildlife safaris. In order to reduce carbon emission from diesel vehicles and electric vehicles is being introduced for the first time. See here, they have mentioned about the disposal of plastic waste water bottles, but actually not such much information is mentioned here. They have mentioned about the each committee headed by DC comprises so and so officers. These committees will monitor waste management by giving special attention to the scientific disposal of water bottles and compile data on the quantity of PET bottles produced, used and sold within the district. These committees, which will meet and review once in 3 months, will work to create awareness among the people about the ill effects of plastic waste. So this is not much information where we can write it here. Let's mention PET bottles, what it is, and we will research about it. Go to the Chrome. PET bottles, what is that? PET means in bottle is polyethylene terephthalate resin and form of polyester. So mention that. This is a type of resin, form of polyester. See here, disposal of waste is primarily governed by the Plastic Waste Management Rules 2016. So mention that disposal of waste, it is plastic waste management rules 2016. In this article yesterday I said something like Karnataka Electricity Regulatory Commission. Copy, then go to Chrome, paste, space KPSC, enter. So there is an article in Namma KPSC which is 2024 article. So we have to mention about this commission, where we can mention in this is act, we can mention it over here only, I guess, because this commission was through act only. So mention here Karnataka Electricity Regulatory Commission, KERC, write down, established 1999. It is a statutory body under Electricity Regulatory Commission Act 1998. Functions: it determines the tariff for the generation, supply, transmission and wheeling of electricity, issue licenses to entities involved in the generation, distribution and transmission of electricity, promotes the development and integration of renewable energy sources into the state's power grid, protecting the interest of electricity consumers, serve as a dispute resolution forum for matters related to electric sector. Structure: chairperson and members, each appointed by state government. So chairperson appointed by state government. We can just mention its function, like it determines the tariff. Enough, we can say from electricity itself, supply, transmission, generation and all. So not necessary to mention here. And it issues licenses to entities involved in this process, like generation, distribution and transmission of electricity. Then promotes development and integration of renewable energy sources. Promote the development and integration of renewable energy sources. And last, protecting interests of consumers and serves as dispute resolution forum for matter related to electricity sector, that no, not necessary to mention here. We'll go through the next article. Here, yesterday I didn't show about this article, but there is a commission here, National Human Rights Commission. Anyway, we will study this commission in Indian polity, so not necessary to make a separate note of it. This will come later. There is an international body here mentioned, UNGA. So in which paper we can write? In international bodies I have mentioned, or organization, yeah, IR organization. So right here, what we will do, G7 is actually a group, so doesn't come under a body. So groups or summit, we'll take a fresh paper and mention IR bodies or organization. So again a partition, right, UNGA. Let's dive into this article. India should work with partners to bring an immediate halt to hostilities as an escalation and destabilize the entire region. Mr. Sharma was part of Narendra Modi government's diplomatic outreach in Operation Sindoor and Pahalgam terror attack, mounted a scathing criticism of India's abstention from UN vote on a motion for protection of civilians and upholding legal and humanitarian obligation in Gaza. It is a humanitarian catastrophe that has unfolded in Gaza, where people are facing collective retribution for their identity. It is indefensible that the land of Mahatma Gandhi doesn't stand for peace. Okay. In fact, the abstention at the UN was cited as another example of weak diplomacy by India. So we can make a point of weak diplomacy. If for example, if you get an article, I mean like a question in mains regarding weak diplomacy, so we can give this as an example where India's abstention at the UN for UN on a motion for the protection of civilians and upholding legal and humanitarian obligations in Gaza. So again there is a mention of BRICS and SEO. So same like how we write here UNG say the same way we have to mention about those. Nothing much important mentioned here, is all criticism over here. we'll go to the Chrome, mention UNGA, KPSC. Right, full form of it, United Nations General Assembly. This is one of the 6 principal organ of United Nations. This is the main deliberative policy making and representative organ. There are 193 members. If there is any members, firstly we have to see whether India is a member or not. That is important. We need when it was established, aim. See, it was established in the year 1945. See, it is a sovereign authority where it discusses and addresses global issues collectively. So we can keep that in mind. Headquarters initially met in various locations before its time. Permanent, it became at New York City. So write New York. This presidency rotates annually. Observers, okay. Seating arrangement, decision making, nothing important. Other key bodies, policy making, UN assessment, achievements, challenges, reforms. See, India and UNGA. Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit was the first woman president of UNGA, India's leadership in promoting gender equality globally. So we need to know whether India is a Yes, India is a member. So, India is a member. Let's go to the other article. India increased its nuclear warhead count to 180 in 2024, CIPRI report. See here, they have mentioned 9 nuclear armed countries, including India and Pakistan. So you have to know which are the 9 armed countries for nuclear. So it is an IR institution, Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, where we can write, we'll write here only, groups or summate. Let's take a new body only, IR institutions, because there are so many institutions where we can't club everything at one place. So we'll mention Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI, and this as a global think tank. So our agenda is to know what the report says. SIPRI says that India new canisterized missiles, which can be transported with mated warheads, may be capable of carrying nuclear warheads during peacetime and possibly even multiple warheads on each missile once they become operational. So there is a mention of canisterized missile. So in science and tech, whether I have mentioned any science and tech, nothing, right? So let's take new sheet, mention science and tech, canisterized missiles. They have mentioned here 9 nuclear armed countries. So write that 9 nuclear United States, Russia, UK, France, China, India, Pakistan, Democratic People's Republic of Korea or North Korea, and Israel. According to SIPRI estimates, India's stored warheads increased to 180 in January 2025 from 172 in January 2024. So there is just mentioned it has increased, so nothing to write in this. See here, a gene is mentioned called Act 1. So just make note of it. What is Act 1? It is a gene. Epigenetic marks on a gene called Act 1 could also pass the ability to express this gene down 5 generations. Act 1 is normally expressed at high levels in rice, but when exposed to cold, its expression is switched off by the addition of methyl group. This information is not so important, just go through the gist. The French naturalist Jean-Baptiste Lamarck formalized the theory of acquired characters. Darwin proposed natural selection. The two ideas coexisted. Inherited will change DNA itself. So this is not much important. We need to know rice reveals surprise ability to adapt to cold faster than evolution because of Act 1 gene. You should know that. That's it. So in which news we can mention it? In the environment, where I mentioned pollution species. Rice, even it comes under economy, but we'll go in science and tech only. We'll mention here, we'll mention what it is. Act 1 gene. Rice plants learned to tolerate cold temperatures by changing epigenetic marks on a gene called Act 1. Sufficient. Hydraulic systems, their functioning and myriad applications. This is whole lot of science. They have given parts of the hydraulic system. What are applications for hydraulics? I guess UPSC or KPSC won't ask much detail of this. If they ask also some pointers for the prelims, not for mains, and that's it. We'll go for the editorial part. A chance to rebuild the trust, restored faith in air travel. See, why I said yesterday this article will be useful for ethics and even for essay paper. See, because just skim here the headlines. They have given some clues. A similar incident, rebuild the trust. So this aeroplane crash, what has occurred recently, as similar incidents happened before also. So there is a comparison of a present and even the past. And see here they have mentioned rebuild the trust. See, If the trust is broken, now most of the passengers won't travel by aeroplane. So we have to make sure that we rebuild the trust so that many passengers get the trust and they will travel. If these situations keep on happening in the coming future also, most of the passengers deny traveling by air. So even for essay we can give examples when it is required, so just go through and make a note in your own words, so that will be useful. I will just go through the article. Conducting the investigation into the air crash at Ahmedabad in a professional manner is an important step in reassuring air passengers that air travel is safe, is still a safe mode of travel. See, this is, we can quote in essay where if any article they have asked regarding the trust and all, so we can use this as an example. Airplane crash. See, it's the step in reassuring air passengers that air travel is still a safe mode of travel. The fatal crash of Air India flight at Ahmedabad. TRP seeking media channels, experts on you overboard with theories, airline general anxiety. Okay, whatever. So just some clues. The only survivor on board the flight has mentioned to some channels that he had heard a loud thud a few seconds after liftoff and off lights on board flickering. The deployment of the RAT or ram air turbine on the aircraft. So Science and Tech mention RAT or ram aim turbine. So it comes under the Science and Tech. So video initiated, okay, as mentioned earlier, Xenon, CCTV footage or statement issued by officials, okay, runway 23 outside, okay, released by airport operator 18 seconds, no swinging of the right failure, okay, did it pick the second engine may have. So they have mentioned some clues from that, they would have taken the precautionary measures, but they haven't. There is something, the second engine may have failed due to debris injection or the bird injection. The video clearly shows birds flying in the vicinity. That no bird remains were found on the runway is due to the fact that the aircraft may have ingested birds beyond the runway in the overrun area. A similar incident on September 29, 1986, a similar incident, India Airlines, okay, Chennai to Mumbai, the co-pilot rotated the aircraft, and when the aircraft attained 5 degree to 8 degree nose up altitude, a loud noise was heard from the right side followed by severe vibration. The commander took over the controls from the co-pilot at this stage and initiated action to abort the takeoff. Reverse thrust and wheel brakes were applied, but the aircraft could not be stopped on the runway and rolled over to the Kacha ground. There was no fire, but the aircraft was damaged beyond repair. All 196 occupants were evacuated. Among them, 14 were slightly injured. Probable case: wrong decision of the commander to reject the takeoff after the aircraft had been rotated for the liftoff, following a loud sound and severe vibrations from right engine due to bird hit. The similarities are interesting as a flight safety study. To take off, safety speed is where an engine failure makes a pilot take a decision to continue or reject the takeoff and stop within the end of the runway. The Indian airline pilots were crucified for taking their own decisions, which saved the lives of all on board because the decision to reject was after commencing rotation and beyond the takeoffs. Okay. So nothing much is important to make a note of it. Just remember the similar incident has happened in the Indian Airlines, the flight from Chennai to Mumbai, but in a few fraction of seconds only the pilot came to know, and he just landed on the Kacha plot, where a few were injured and nothing happened to this. So why? And here they have mentioned a Civil Aviation Safety Advisory Council. More council, just we can go through it. Let's see. There is an article in web, but it is much more older. In this council, we have to know when it was formed. It was formed in the 2010, and what it is purpose, and membership, key functions. We can go skim through it. That's it. Nothing much important. India needs to design an inclusive pension system. See, there is given a definition for it. If we can use this as a definition, but usually pensions are essential for maintaining economic stability and dignity after retirement. This we can use as a definition. Let's dive into the topic. As India undergoes a demographic shift, policymakers must plan a truly inclusive pension system. Yeah, this one we can use as an, if in mains question they have asked for pension system, we can use this as a starting pointer. As India undergoes a demographic shift, policymakers must plan a truly inclusive pension system. See here, almost 85% of the informal labor force is generating more than half of the country's GDP. See, by 2050, India's old age dependency ratio will increase to 30%. India's path to achieve developed economy status by 2047 will depend in no small measure on our efforts to secure the future against old age poverty. Pension coverage issues are linked to scalability, sensitization, and sustainability. We can make note of it. They have mentioned what are the reasons for the exclusion of the informal workers from the pension framework. So we can make note of those also reasons why they have excluded. See there, here it is mentioned a large portion of the current pension coverage is in informal sector is voluntary. Expansion is a lack of awareness Financial literacy in India still remains low. Effort at sensitizations need to start at the grassroots level. For this, they have given example from the Australia. Financial literacy policy in Australia enables the school curriculum to incorporate a component on superannuation planning. In Netherlands, they have given few examples from the foreign countries. Netherlands they have given, United Kingdoms they have given. So we can give these an examples like best practices, ensuring sustainability and liquidity. There is a report here, Institute Global Pension Index. Even this we can mention. Here they have mentioned a three-tiered framework, which is scalability, sensitization and sustainability. This we can do a diagram like circle, then three spokes and write this. See, they have mentioned India should harmonize fragmented schemes into a tiered system overseen by a unified regulator. In ideal design, the first tier would comprise mandatory basic pension guarantee, flat rate contributory pension for all. The next tier, like they have mentioned three tiers, so we can use these pointers. And measures they have mentioned here, even this we can make, this we can use as a conclusion. As India undergoes a demographic shift, a minimum pension guarantee and a well-structured pension system for everyone, including informal workers, will ensure basic financial security during retirement. Policymakers must act now to design a truly inclusive pension system for all, regardless of their occupational status. This is a way forward we can use at the end of the answer. So there are lot of pointers from this to make a note of it, which is time consuming. So I'll make a separate video for editorial analysis, where how we can extract points and make a note of it for easy revision purpose. The third nuclear age, even I will make a separate video for this. And that's it. Thank you for watching my video. If you definitely like my video, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.